And for another video. I am so excited. Now, prior to us getting into this one, please click on the subscribe button and the notification button, and let's grow the family. And please share. And to all those that were with me the past couple of weeks, thank you for viewing my videos. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. I highly appreciate it. Now, today's topic is about my mental health journey, which is basically anxiety and depression, and it's been something I've been dealing with for a very long time. Little did I know though initially that I was dealing with anxiety and depression, and that was because in high school, when I started high school, I had anxiety, but I didn't realize it, mainly because I had a source to express the way that I felt, and that was through dance. And I would express myself with dance, and little did I know that me using my body as a tool to send out a message would actually lead me to becoming one of the youngest dancers to have a solo performance. And what do we call it? Is it a duet? Yeah, with another person. Yeah, and then I used my body to express the way that I felt, and that made me so proud to actually be recognized for me putting so much feeling, so much soul into my body and movement that it ended up putting me where I was. But in grade 11, I then had to stop dance because dance was actually clashing with my extra classes, so I could not do both, mainly because of extra classes, which were apparently more important than other classes. So I had to quit dance, and I ended up focusing strictly on school. And from then on, I realized that no, I have a problem. Like, I don't have a source now, an outlet, and it's doing the most to me. And during that time, I started listening to a few people that had gone through their own struggles, such as Demi Lovato. Like them, if you ask my closest friends in high school what I listened to, they'd tell you like Demi Lovato and Jessie J, and there were a couple of others, but like mainly them. And those were like the songs that helped me, just express what I was feeling. Came matric, and in matric things got more intense, mainly because it's your final year in high school, you're applying to universities, you're just getting ready for this life after high school, and you have to get the results, and you have to push yourself. And I realized me trying to push myself in the education path led me astray with regards to my mental health. But at the time, I still wasn't aware of what I was dealing with. Like, I knew I was stressed. I knew I was always, I had like this rapid heart rate. Like, I would literally freak out every time you'd say there was an exam. And honestly, when I wrote it, I knew I wasn't confident in like the things that I wrote in the paper, or majority of the paper. So I would just like beat myself up for that. And most part, I tried being happy and playing cool with like everyone else that was surrounding me, so that they wouldn't see the struggle that I had been going through. So I was like literally happy all the time, and was a part of a lot of things, and social, was always smiling. And a lot of people saw like the good side of me, and they never saw the broken side of me. Came first semester was great. It was amazing. Second semester, there was the pits of fire. Like, guys, second semester was the hardest part for me. Like, especially losing that friend that I mentioned in the past couple of videos, and just knowing that now you have to start all over. The friend that used to walk with me and accompany me to my aunt's place, because where we would walk was not safe. So he would like accompany me from campus all the way to that side. He would like literally leave me by my aunt's place, and then he'd go a separate direction and go to his place. And I was like, that won't be the same anymore. The person that I competed with regards to AMA marks is not here anymore, and that hurts, you know, because he was so friendly, he was so kind, he was just a cool person, and I don't have that anymore. And that hit hard for me, and I didn't realize it. I just thought that I'm having like, I don't know, stress. But during the first year, I then started learning about something called mental health, and I became more aware of it. But I didn't think I had it. Like, I always thought that it was like for other people, people that had greater issues than myself. But no, man. Second semester, I suffered. I would pray. I remember I would pray until I cried, until I said, I surrender, Lord. Like, let your will be done upon me. But like, things would not happen. Like, nothing was going my way. Then I remember spring break, when it was during my Kufe week, so I wouldn't really stay because I always wanted to be at home. I went back home, and to this day I'll forever be grateful to this person who still happens to be my brother-in-law. He was so amazing. Every time when I got home, he would see the shift in the mood that I'd had. Like, I'd always been a bubbly person, laugh, I'd be loud, I'd talk, but he would see the shift. And every time I was at home, he'd ask me, are you okay? Like, are you sure, like, you're okay? Talk to us, talk to me. It doesn't necessarily have to be all of us, but talk to me. And he would see this, and it weighed on me that I don't want to share, but I know I'm not okay. But like, my usual answer to him would be like, no, yeah, no, I'm fine, like, I'm okay. Don't worry about it. And he brushed it off for that time, but the following day or a couple of days later, whenever he sees me, he'd ask me again, are you okay? And to this day, like to this very day, I hate that question. Because I know still that if you were to ask me that question, I'd probably break down and cry, mainly because I know I don't like that question. Like, the are you okay is just the hardest question for me, because I'm dealing. And cool, I went back after spring break, did okay, and came December and I stayed at home. Second year came, and I'm like, I'm ready for this year. I'm positive vibes, positive energy, bring God in, you know, just like pushing positive energy, just like pushing God in my life, you know, being spiritual, being all about God and my space, like my sanctuary, being like staying. I got there, and I think it was like the first week when we had to go collect our books. In the University of the Free State, like at the back of the libraries where you collect your books. So we went there, and I was like, no, I'm breaking. Like, what am I? I'm breaking. Like, I'm too anxious. So we'd gone with a couple of my friends to go collect books, but like, we were still on the way. Jabu and I were still on the way there. Naledi was standing in the line. So I'd asked Naledi to stand in the line for me while Jabu was still on her way. So as I'm outside, I make a quick call to the SADAG. Please forgive me, as I always forget what the G stands for, even when I found out what it means. But yeah, the South African Depression and Anxiety. Yeah. But they have a call center there where you can call, and they can like send you straight through to a therapist, of which whom you can have a conversation with. And literally, I was like, I'm so scared. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I'm anxious. My heart is racing, and I'm not certain about this year. Like, in as much as I had the positive energy going to the Free State, now that I'm facing my reality and I'm on campus, it's getting real, yo. Yeah, I couldn't take it. Like, I was just so stressed. So she calmed me down, she spoke to me, and she was like, knowing universities, every campus has a clinic so that you can either talk about your mental health, like you can book an appointment with a therapist and speak on your problems, or you can also go to what's this? Or you can also go to a psychologist around you in your area. So I didn't know where the clinic was on campus because I'm that girl that just never goes to orientation. So I never did go to orientation, so I wouldn't even know where the clinic was. So, but as the time was going, like I think 2 months down the line, so from Feb up until March, I was okay. Like I would deal with anxiety after waking up. So like I'd like go through my day. That was when I was dealing with anxiety. Like I'd have like my heart racing, not procrastinating, but just like having to convince myself to get out of the house, to go to school, to bath, to get out of bed. Those were like my achievements of the day. And those were the things I deal with on a daily basis. Then it started getting worse 3 months down the line in April, where not only now do I have to deal with all these things when I'm awake, now I deal with things when I'm sleeping. I have sleep disturbances, I have sleep paralysis. And this was scary because now my roommate, who so happens to be my niece, who was amazing, would not see me go through these during the night. In as much as she would sleep late, these things would happen whenever she had already fallen asleep. So now I have to deal with like being awake and immobile, so not being able to move. And she's like literally across me, and I can't even call her out so that she can help me or do whatever that could at least get me moving. And that was one of the scariest, like 1 minute, 2 minutes of my life, especially with like the sleep paralysis. And another thing with my anxiety is I've now come to realize that I'm so scared of the dark. Like I don't sleep in the dark. I am terrified of darkness. So in my room, luckily, there used to be like lights coming through, so I wouldn't be that terrified to sleep with the lights off. And especially when I was going through my sleep paralysis. But yeah, I realized that I was very terrified of the dark. I don't like dark spaces. They make me too uncomfortable. Yeah, dark spaces just made me, and still do make me, uncomfortable. So then time went on. Then during like April or May, right, people started committing suicide. And during that time was the time I had started having suicidal thoughts. And that scared me because the thoughts that I'd had were not great. So during that time, again, as well, in the Free State, now, okay, the Free State has this program called UFS 101. And it's like, UFS 101 is like the life skills of university for them, though. They speak on business, they speak on time management, they speak on study methods, and they also spoke on, this one was one of the most important ones for me, they spoke about mental health. And the person that was presenting that day was actually one of the psychologists at the clinic on campus. And she started saying how these are the symptoms. If you feel like you're going through this, come speak to us to just get you comfortable, to get to know you, to speak to us, and for us to help you find ways to manage and cope with your anxiety. So after the presentation, I went to her and I approached her and I told her, no, I have this. I have sleep paralysis. I have sleep disturbances. This is how I feel every morning. And I don't know, are these symptoms of anxiety? She's like, yeah. I suggest that you come and book an appointment and speak to one of our psychologists and so forth. Now, because I had felt so drawn to her, I wanted her to be my psychologist, but I didn't get her, and it was fine. And it was fine because the psychologist that I ended up getting was just as amazing. She was so calm. She was just like, she had this energy around her where you could literally be comfortable and just speak about your issues. So I started speaking to her and telling her how I was feeling, and I literally laid it all on the table. Now, I had a session before, but not on campus. This was back in high school when I was doing my matric, and I started seeing the school social worker, and then I wasn't comfortable enough to lay it all on the table. But now I'm in varsity, I'm 18, I'm an adult, so basically all my information has to be kept private. See, and like when you're in high school, they have to call your parents and they have to like do this whole thing. Time to come home for June, and I'm not okay. At this point, I've lost so much weight. I am not okay. Like, you can literally see it through me that I'm not okay. Like, nje ngangingekho right. And my brother-in-law, God bless his soul, he would see that I was not okay. Like, I am so appreciative of him being present in my life. Like, he still asks me, "Are you okay?" And he asked that the time I came back, and I told him, "Yeah, I'm okay," because I just like want to brush him off. I didn't want to speak because every time I thought of how I was feeling, I'd get emotional, and it would just like bring back these emotions that I really didn't like. And during the winter holiday of that year, I had lost a grandfather and an uncle. Now that pushed me to another level of I don't know what. I didn't even want to go back to campus. I didn't want to go back to school. I even told my dad, no, I don't want to go back. And they convinced me that, no, it's fine. You're about to finish this year anyway. Just go back, and just complete it. I went back. Going back, everything got worse. My thoughts got worse, got darker. I started even journaling some of the things that, I was feeling, and they were so dark. But then I remembered, I should try including God more into this thing, because I said in the beginning of the year was that I'm going to include God more into my life, my train of thoughts, how I'm feeling, and just school and everything. Started praying more, started, listening to sermons more on YouTube, listening to gospel music, trying to bring all that godly positive energy in and around me. Aibo. Nina, I would pray, and I still feel the same. I was like, as in, I understand that my journey was created that at some point I must struggle. Yeah, but this is too much. Now it's affecting a lot of things. It's affecting me personally, it's affecting my relationships, because now I can't get into a relationship because I don't trust myself. I'm not confident enough to be in a relationship with the next person. I don't love myself enough. So how am I gonna love the next person? I am fearful of the unknown, and I'm always doubting, what if I'm too broken for him? Like, I would doubt myself. To this day, I still have a few insecurities that I think about, like my body, I've got like hyperpigmentation in so many different places. Like, if you look at my hands are actually darker than how I look, literally. And my legs at some point, like how I judge myself on everything, as every single thing I would judge myself on. Confidence, best believe it's back, because I love my body, I love myself. Like, I can look at myself in the mirror and be like, "God, you are gorgeous." Okay, drop dead gorgeous. Short hair, it suits you, you look absolutely beautiful. Like, I would start accepting myself for the way that I was. And this was like a recent thing, like me accepting myself for who I am and embracing each and every curve that I had. But to this day, I still feel like he can easily love someone else. I'm not worth it. I'm not worth the fight. I'm not worth the struggle. I am it's best I just push you away than have you close to me. Because I feel like also when relationships start getting more serious and more intense, that scares me worse. Because I'm like, yeah, marriage, kids, no. So I just knew that I didn't want to have to deal with another person's problems when I could barely handle my own. And that affected not only my romantic relationships, but it also affected my friendships, because I started pulling away from certain people. And I wasn't doing it intentionally, but I also wasn't trying to rekindle or mend the relationships. And these things just happened gradually. So like, if you stop talking to me, I stop talking to you, and then we like drift apart that way. But I still had like those few friends around me that I would literally express this with. I tell them that, yo, girl, like I remember I'd tell Sharon sometimes, even prior to our classes starting, that I'm not okay, hey, like Ankiko right at all. But then I'd also try being that friend that listens, because I am being heard and she hears me, she listens. Let me reciprocate that and be that good friend. And you know, Sharon has been amazing. Naledi, Sharon, and Jabu, they've been amazing throughout my journey in the Free State. But throughout the second semester, I realized that I cannot go back. I'm not motivated. I'm not happy. I'm just depressed, down and out. Like Angiko, right? Came the following year, prior to, like, it was a bit after New Year's, I sat my parents down and I told them I'm not going back. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not going back. I know I've disappointed you. And trust and believe, prior to me telling my parents that I'm not going back, I beat myself up about it. But telling my parents felt like I just lifted a weight off my shoulders. Like I was able to tell them that I'm not okay. Now, because my parents are traditional and old school, they don't understand this depression and anxiety thing. And a bit after that, after telling my parents, my grandmother passed away. Now, that just pushed me over to the curb. Like, the deaths that I'd been experiencing, me losing myself in the process of all of that, and just dropping out of school. And, like, this is just a whole lot for me. I did think my friends will be graduating in the next year, and here I am in this place where I don't want to be. Like, I had a plan. I had like a plan. I wanted to graduate. Now I'm in fine. You know, it didn't happen like that. It wasn't like that at all. And that was okay, because at least I saved myself from what could have been a bad ending to my story. And I don't know who gave my parents the idea to actually book an appointment for me to go see a psychologist. And I did. And from that, I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder. So yeah, but I don't take any medication for it as of yet, and I don't intend to. Anxiety disorder, and I was given things that could help me deal with my anxiety. Now I'm dealing with like a loss, and then I'm dealing with my anxiety, and then it was just like it was a lot. It was a lot. But I took last year as a year to like start all over, bring myself to like that place where I want to be. And now this year, which was supposed to be the year of 20 plenty, it somewhat did become a productive year, because I ended up starting my YouTube channel, which was something I would have not done. I ended up started making moves with regards to my passion, which is fashion, and the designs that I'd wanted to create. I started like doing moves on those, and you know, now I see like a direction, and I have a piece that I am currently creating. I can't wait for you guys to see it. I am so excited for you guys to see that design. It is so gorgeous. I can't even. It is beautiful. I've also realized, guys, mental health is important. Take care of your mental health. During this time, a lot of people are going through the most with regards to their mental health. So I suggest that you do the same. Take care of your mental health. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Appreciate yourself. And try being productive and just making moves for yourself, you know. So yeah, me and Umapungani advising that you take care of yourselves and your mental health on you. Make yourself the main priority and your mental health, and from then on you can end up taking care of the rest. But yeah, me and Umapungani win only signing out. Bye guys.